Hey Photo Club, I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet. I would have preferred to do this in person, but here I am doing it in video. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I'm making this video in regards of like the budgeting for like trips we want to do. One thing I wanted to ask the class slash photo club was a question regarding the trips. Like, what is the purpose of going on those trips? Like, yeah, they're fun, they're exciting, but since I've been in there, I really haven't heard anyone talk about the reason why we go. So I created a PowerPoint presentation on why we should go, the goal, and the purpose, because I believe the purpose should be an experience we learn as photographers. So with the first point I wanted to bring up was the San Diego Safari Park Zoo. Obviously, we've mentioned that that's been in the itinerary, but I think it's important for us to, like I said, go with the goal, and we get an experience. An experience I want us to acquire is shooting through a long lens. So as you see right behind me, I'm putting up an example of a long millimeter example and a short one. The benefit of the longer one is we get shots we normally don't get, such as like this gorilla and these other examples I'm showing you, versus the short millimeter, which I'm sure a lot of us have because it's very common to get, I would say, like a 24 to 70, which is like the one right here as well. So I hope you get the point I'm trying to get to, is that, you know, when it comes to these trips, I want it to be an experience. And one might ask, well, how do we get the budgeting? Well, that's something Jay and I are currently working on. I actually spoke with Image One today, and they said it was possible for us to get long lenses and cameras, but no need to worry about that. What you need to worry about is, you know, gaining this experience in which I want you guys to experience. The next thing I wanted to bring up was another location I would love to bring, such as the Aquarium of the Pacific. I think that not only is fun, it's also animals. I mean, who doesn't love animals? Animals are so popular, especially ones we don't normally see. So I think it's a very fun experience for everyone, and I'm sure we can all agree on that. And the goal of that location, I feel like, would be such as what I have here in the PowerPoint, and it's pretty much to shoot in low light settings. So the aquarium, it's filled with dark settings and lightings, and you know, the benefit of that will be for us as photographers to really use our manual settings to really get an enhanced photo, a good photo. So it's really going to challenge us. So that's a location I wanted to mention. I think it's worth going. Here are some pictures. I mean, jellyfish, sharks, not great whites, but you'll see some type of, you know, sea animals that you normally wouldn't see. A next location I wanted to mention is Speed Ventures. One might question, Tony, what is Speed Ventures? I don't understand. Well, I chose this location based upon, like I said, the purpose of experience. And Speed Ventures is a location, Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, which it's really not too far. And what's the Auto Club Speedway? Well, it's a place where NASCAR drivers drive in a circle, but Speed Ventures is a separate entity from NASCAR, but it's people who drive cars as fast as they can. And well, you might ask, well, that's cool and all, Tony, but what's the reason, what's the purpose? Well, the purpose would be to get experience with panning shots. So I have an example of panning photos right here, and I think that's great for all of us, because when does someone really take panning shots of cars going over 120 miles per hour? It's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be a fun challenge because we're going to see cars, and it's just something different. And with these locations that I chose, I want it to be different, right? And as mentioned, it's just really cool shooting that type of stuff, and we don't get to shoot it. The next thing is Joshua Tree. So Joshua Tree is something that's been brought around, and I'm really happy it's gotten brought around. Steven actually provided some great photos and tips and tricks on getting beautiful photos, and what I'm going to refer to is astrophotography. So I really would love if we can agree on Joshua Tree, just due to the fact that long exposure shots are probably one of the most beautiful shots in my opinion. And I mean, you can agree or disagree, but the purpose, and I'm referring to purpose because these locations are all with the purpose. This one is specifically astrophotography. The benefit and goal would just be to take long exposure photos, which I think is beneficial for all of us, because that way we really get a sense of like, oh wow, this many seconds can get a photo like this. I really didn't know that. Most of us already know that, but I think the purpose would be kind of like for future generations of Photo Club. Let's say someone, it's their first year in photography and they join Photo Club. At least all of us who are experienced, we can give them tips and tricks that will attribute to, you know, generations for them to come. Because, you know, Photo Club is, in my opinion, it should be to help out other photographers, whether they be new, whether they be experienced. You know, the goal is to be a club, help each other grow, and I just think it's all a great bonding experience. To close it off, I kind of wanted to mention though, we really need to come down to the point where we set on locations. I've noticed on Discord and the text messages, only really 2 people attributed to locations. I want to say a shout out to Angel for saying Mormon Rocks, which I think it's a really great location. And also Stefan for saying Joshua Tree. I'm not sure if you guys have locations in mind and just haven't said anything, but if you do have locations, now is the time to talk, because Jay and I are working down to budgeting. So if you don't speak up soon, and I'm talking about before next Tuesday soon, Jay and I won't have enough time to really create budgets for us to have a really fun experience, because all locations, I'm really working hard to get us transportations, to get us like camera equipment, because not all of us have a car and not all of us, you know, have some equipment. So, you know, if you can agree on locations and, you know, mention stuff you want to, now is the time, because time is limited. And I'm emphasizing budget a lot because like that spokesman person who came, I believe his name was Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but he did talk about how we have to present these budgets to student council. And, you know, the last thing I would want for us is to pay money out of our own pocket. You know, times are really tough with inflation right now, gas prices, and it would be awesome if we can get the funding for school, that the money is technically ours. We just have to prove it. But thankfully, a person like I and Jay and people around the community in the photo club, such as Antonio, are willing to represent you guys. So, you know, with that being said, if you are interested in locations I mentioned, please say something. Do not stay quiet. As mentioned, Jay and I really need to get down to the bones and pickles of what we need to do. And I'm just seeing my notes right now. That's kind of really it, guys. I'm excited to be in Photo Club. You know, I'm kind of a new member, but I'm a positivity guy. I love making good changes that can benefit all of us. And I'm hoping this video wasn't too long, but it's important that we move forward. And I want to move forward with you guys, and I'm looking forward for these trips. Thanks, guys, for your time. Appreciate it.